Good day, students. Welcome to Mathgotserved.com. In this clip, we're going to be going over operations on polynomials. Our focus today will be on how to add and subtract polynomials. This standard is covered in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 courses. Don't forget there are 14 practice problems at the end of the presentation that you can use to demonstrate mastery of the concept covered. If you like the entire playlist, the entire coursework, and other valuable resources, just take a look at the link in the description below or visit our website at mathgotserved.com. All right, the instructions is as follows. We are to simplify the following. All right, for question number 1, let's say we have the operation on the following polynomials. We have 3x to the second power plus 5x plus 7. This polynomial added to 4x squared plus 2x plus 3. Okay? So let's go ahead and carry out this is an addition operation, okay? So when you're adding these two polynomials, you can simply just drop the parentheses when you're adding polynomials in quantities like this. Because when you drop the parentheses, what you're doing is you're distributing a positive 1 to all the terms on the right, okay? So this is just 3x squared plus 5x plus 7 plus 4x squared plus 2x plus 3. Now, had it been that this operation here were a minus, we will have to distribute this negative sign to all the terms to the right, and that will change all your signs to the opposite, okay? So you want to be really careful when you're subtracting. When you're adding, you can just drop the parentheses. Now let's go ahead and combine like terms. So we have the second degree terms, 3x squared and 4x squared. We'll add those. That will give us 7x squared. Remember, you're just adding coefficients. And then we have the 5x and 2x. Add the coefficients. That will give us plus 7x. And then lastly, we have positive 7 and positive 3. We combine those together. That will give us plus 10. Okay? So that's the final answer for question number 1. All right, let's take a look at another example, number 2. Let's say we're adding two binomials. Let's say we have 2x plus 4 plus 4x plus 8. So how do we add these two binomials? Take a look at that. So we write the problem, 2x plus 4 plus 4x plus 8. Now, since we're adding, you can just drop the parentheses, okay? So you have 2x plus 4, and then you're distributing a positive 1 to these terms, so that changes nothing. So it's 4x plus 8. Now let's go ahead and combine like terms. We can combine 2x and 4x, they're like terms. So x plus 4x, you add the coefficients and bring down the variable, that's 6x. And then you can combine the constants, positive 4 and positive 8. Plus 4 plus 8 is positive 12. And that's the answer for question number 2. All right, let's take a look at another example. Question number 3. We're going to be adding a cubic trinomial, namely x to the third plus 4x squared minus 5. We're going to be adding it to a quadratic binomial, 5x squared plus 7. Okay, so let's take a look at how to add these two polynomials, x to the third plus 4x squared minus 5 plus 5x squared plus 7. Now, since we have a positive operation, we're going to just distribute positive 1 to all the terms to the right. So we just have x to the third plus 4x squared minus 5x minus 5. And then we distribute 1, nothing changes, plus 5x squared plus 7. Okay? So now we're going to proceed to combine like terms. X to the third degree term has nothing to combine with, so we just bring it down, x to the third. And then the second degree term, x squared, 4x squared can be combined with 5x squared. You combine the coefficients, 4 plus 5 is 9, so plus 9x squared. And then you combine the constants, negative 5 and plus 7. So negative 5 plus 7, since the signs are different, you subtract and keep the sign of the bigger, which is positive 2. Okay, so answer is x to the third plus 9x squared plus 2 for the answer to question number 3. All right, let's take a look at question 4. In question 4, we're going to be looking at the difference example. So let's say we have 6x minus 3y minus 3x minus 7y. Now, whenever you have minus or you're finding the difference between two polynomials, you want to proceed with caution, okay? All right, so we have 6x minus 3y minus 3x minus 7y. So in the previous problems, we've been distributing positive 1, which makes no change. But now we have negative 1, which causes a change to happen. So we're going to distribute this negative 1 to the terms to the right of the parentheses. Okay? All right, so what happens after the distribution? Well, we are going to have 6x minus 3y and then minus 3x after distributing negative 1 to the 3x, and then plus 7y after distributing the negative 1 to the 7y. Okay? And I'll proceed to combine like terms. 6x minus 3x, subtract the coefficients, that will give us positive 3x. And then we can combine the y terms, negative 3y plus 7y. You subtract and keep the sign of the bigger, so that will be positive 4y. Alrighty, so that goes the answer to question number 4. All right, let's take a look at another example. Question number 5. We're going to be looking at another difference problem, but we're going to be looking at dealing with quadratic trinomials. Alrighty, so for number 5, let's say we have the quadratic trinomial 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. You're subtracting from it 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. All right, so we have 2x squared plus 7x plus 3 minus 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. Now, before we even subtract, what we want to take a look at, let's inspect what we're dealing with here. Okay, if you notice, we are subtracting two polynomials that are identical. So what happens when you subtract two things that are identical? Everything cancels out to 0, right? So in this particular case, our final answer is automatically 0 because we're subtracting two quantities that are exactly the same. Okay? All right, let's take a look at number 6. Number 6, what if we're to simplify the expression 7x minus 5 minus 7x? Okay, let's take a look at that. So we have 7x minus 5 minus 7x. So let's combine alike terms. We have the first degree term in the variable x, so 7x and minus 7x can be combined. So you subtract 7x minus 7x, that gives us 0. And then minus 5, 0 minus 5 is simply negative 5. And that's the answer to question number 6. All right, let's take a look at question 7. So question 7, what if we're to simplify 5x plus 7y minus 10y plus 3x? What if we're to simplify that? All right, let's take a look at what the simplified form is. So let's rewrite the problem. 5x plus 7y minus 10y plus 3x. So let's combine like terms. Let's do with the x's first. So we can combine 5x and 3x. 5x plus 3x is 8x. Okay. And then we can proceed to combine 7y and negative 10y. So 7 minus 10y is negative 3y. And there goes your final answer to question number 7. All right, let's take a look at question number 8. So for question number 8, let's say we were to carry out the following operation presented in verbal format. What if we were to find the difference, between 7x squared plus 4x minus 7 and 2x squared minus x plus 3. All right, let's say we're to find the difference between these two. Now, what operation does difference represent? Difference means subtract, okay? Sum is addition, product is time, and then quotient is division. So what we're doing in this problem is 7x squared plus 4x minus 7 minus this difference operation means you subtract, okay? Minus the quantity 2x squared minus x plus 3. Okay, so now since we're subtracting, what do we have to do? We're going to have to distribute this negative sign to every term to the right. So imagine as though you have a negative 1 here, and you're going to distribute that to all three terms. So we'll distribute the negative 1 to the first, second, and the third terms. Okay, when you carry out the distribution, you're going to have negative 2x squared plus x minus 3. Now let's go ahead and simplify the difference of these two quadratic trinomials by combining alike terms. All right, let's do the second degree term, 7x squared and 2x squared. If we combine those two, subtract, keep the sign of the bigger, we'll have 5x squared. Okay, and then we have positive 4x and positive x. Those are like terms. First degree in the variable x. Plus 4x plus 1x is positive 5x. And then we'll deal with the constants. Constants are negative 7 and negative 3. So what is negative 7 minus 3? Negative 7 minus 3 is negative 10. So there goes the answer to question number 8. All right, moving right along, let's take a look at another example, question number 9. This is a difference problem between two quadratic binomials. Let's say we have x squared plus 8 minus 8 minus x squared. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and do that. So we have x squared plus 8 minus quantity 8 minus x squared. So we're going to distribute this minus, a minus 1. We're going to distribute it to the terms to the right, so to 8 and x squared. We'll distribute the negative 1. So we're going to have x squared plus 8 minus 8 plus x squared. Okay, remember every time you distribute negative, the signs flip. So that's basically what's going on here. All right, so now let's go ahead and combine like terms. We have the second degree terms in the variable x. So we have x squared and x squared. If we combine those two, that gives us 2x squared. And then next we have the constants, positive 8 minus 8. Okay, plus 8 minus 8, that's 0. So our final answer is just simply going to be 2x squared for question number 9. Okay, moving right along, let's take a look at question 10. So question 10 is going to be a sum. Let's say we're looking for the sum between the quantity 5x plus 3y and negative x plus y. Alrighty, so let's see what that looks like. we're adding, so we don't have to bother distributing that negative. We can just bring it down. Now this plus and this minus is going to be minus, okay? Whenever you multiply different signs, you have a negative, so negative x plus y. All right. Now let's go ahead and combine like terms. We can combine 5x and negative x. Okay, when we combine those two together, that gives us positive 4x. And then we'll proceed to combine positive 3y and positive 1y, or just positive y. All right, you add the coefficients. Note that there's an imaginary 1 here. Invisible, sorry, not imaginary. An invisible 1 there. So plus 3y plus 1y, add the coefficients. That give us positive 4y. And that's the answer to question number 10. All right, moving along. Let's take a look at 11. So for problem 11, let's say we want to find the difference between two linear binomials, 3x minus 8 minus 10x plus 3. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So I want to find the difference between 3x minus 8 and 10x plus 3. Alrighty, so we're now gonna go ahead and address this negative sign right here. We can bring down the quantity 3x minus 8, and then there's a negative 1 here that we're going to distribute. So this negative gets distributed to positive 10x and positive 3. When we carry out the distribution, we have negative 10x minus 3. Okay, now let's go ahead and simplify. We're going to combine like terms. We can combine the first degree term in the variable x, 3x and negative 10x. Signs are different. We're going to subtract and keep the sign of the bigger. So we're going to have negative 7x. And then go ahead and combine the constants, negative 8 and minus 3. Signs are the same. You add and keep the sign. So we have negative 11. And that's the answer to question number 11. All right, let's take a look at question 12. What if we're to find the difference between two quadratic trinomials? Let's say we have 4x squared plus 4x minus 5 minus 7x plus, minus 8 plus 10x squared. Okay, so let's take a look at the solutions to that. So we have 4x squared plus 4x minus 5 minus 7x minus 8 plus 10x squared. So we're subtracting here, so we're going to be distributing. Okay, there's a 1 here, so this negative 1 will be distributed to all three terms in the parentheses to the right of the minus. So we'll bring down this first polynomial. We have 4x squared plus 4x minus 5, and then distribute this minus. That gives us negative 7x. Minus times minus is plus 8 minus 10x squared. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and combine like terms. So we're going to have to start with a second degree term in the variable x. 4x squared minus 10x. Subtract and keep the sign of the bigger, so we have negative 6x squared. And then proceeding, we have x and negative, 4x and negative 7x. Those are first degree terms in the variable x. Combine them, that will give us, you notice that we're combining coefficients, okay? Signs are different, subtract and keep the sign of the bigger. We have negative 3x. And then lastly, we combine the constants, negative 5 and positive 8. All right, subtract, keep the sign of the bigger. We have positive 3. And that's the answer to question number 12. All right, let's take a look at question 13. So for question 13, we have quantity x squared plus 7x plus 3 and then we're adding this quadratic trinomial with another quadratic trinomial, x squared plus 7x plus 3. All right, let's go ahead and do it. So since we're adding, there is no sign flip. No sign flip will be taking place, so we can just drop the parentheses and focus on combining like terms. So we bring down x squared plus 7x plus 3, and then bring down the other polynomial, x squared plus 7x plus 3. Now let's combine like terms. We have x squared and x squared. Combine those two, that yields 2x squared. And then combine 7x and 7x. Combine those two. We're combining the coefficients. That gives us plus 14x. And then the constants, positive 3 and positive 3. We combine those two. That gives us positive 6. And there goes the answer to question number 13. All right, moving along. Let's take a look at question 14. What if we are combining two polynomials? The first one is a cubic trinomial, 5x to the third plus 8x squared plus 4. And we're adding a quadratic trinomial to it, x squared plus 9x plus 4. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and combine these. Alright, so since we're adding, we can just drop the parentheses, okay? No problem. So we have 4x to the third, 5x to the third, plus 8x squared plus 4, plus, so we just distribute 1, positive 1, so no change happens to the polynomial to the right, x squared plus 9x plus 4. Now we're going to proceed to combine like terms, okay? So the third degree term in the variable x has no other third degree term to be combined with, so bring that down, 5x to the third. Moving along, then we have the second degree term in the variable x, 8x squared can be combined with 1x squared. Combine those two together, that yields, we are combining the coefficients, okay? There's a 1 here, so 8 plus 1 is 9. Plus 9x squared. All right, so we've done the third degree term, second degree term. Let's look and see if there's a first degree term. Yes, there is. 9x here is a first degree term in the variable x. That has nothing to be combined with, so we just bring that down. So we have plus 9x. Okay, and then our constants is the last thing we're going to look at. So our constants, we have the constant positive 4 and positive 4. Okay, so we combine those together, plus 4 is plus 8. And that's the final answer. We have a quadratic, we have a cubic polynomial with 4 terms as the answer to question number 14. All right, let's take a look at one more problem, question number 15. So question number 15, it will be presented in text format. And question 15, we're to subtract the polynomial 3x squared plus 2x minus 5 from 2x squared, the cubic trinomial 2x squared minus 5x plus 9. Okay. Now, if you have a problem presented in this format, there are two things that you want to keep in mind, okay? You want to take a look at what the operation is and the order of the operation. Alrighty? You know that multiplication and addition commutes, but that does not apply to subtraction and division. Those do not commute, okay? Alright, so let's take a look at what the operation is right here. We asked to subtract, so that's a minus. So when you're subtracting this polynomial from this polynomial, the way that you write it in mathematical format is in the reverse order. Okay, so you're going to write 2x squared minus 5x. So from this one, you're subtracting the polynomial 3x squared plus 2x minus 5. Okay, when you're saying it or writing it in verbal form is written in the reverse order, but when you want to carry out the calculation or writing it in symbolic formats, the one that you're subtracting from comes first and the other one comes second. Okay, all right, so there you have it. Now let's go ahead and subtract. We have a minus, so we have a -1 here. This -1 will be distributed to all three terms. Alrighty, so remember when you're subtracting, order matters. Alright, it's very important. So we have 2x squared minus 5x plus 9. And then distributing -1, we have -3x squared minus 2x plus 5. Now we're going to proceed to combine like terms. 2x squared minus 3x squared. Subtract and keep the sign of the bigger. So you're going to have -1x squared or just -x squared. And then we'll combine the first degree term, -5x minus 2x. Add and keep the sign, so we have -7x. And then lastly, we have the constants, +9 and +5. Add those two together, you get +14. And there goes the answer to question number 15. Alrighty, now's the time for you to demonstrate your mastery of the practice problems we just went over. So we have 15 try these problems that we'll like you to try out. Okay, so what we'd like you to do at this time, go ahead and pause this video presentation and work on the following 15 problems. When you're done, click back on the play button and then we're going to display what the answers are. Alrighty, welcome back. So hopefully you've had the chance to try out these problems. Let's take a look at what the answers are. For question number 1, the answer is 5x squared plus 7x plus 9. For question 2, the answer is 3x plus 9. For question 3, the answer is x to the third plus 7x squared plus 1. For question 4, the answer is 3x plus 3y. For question 5, the answer is 0. So this is a 7 right here, kind of sort of looks like a 1. For question 6, the answer is -11. For question 7, the answer is 15x plus 2y. For question 8, the answer is 7x squared plus x minus 1. For number 9, the answer is 4x squared. For question 10, the answer is 9x minus 9y. For question 11, the answer is -2x minus 14. For question 12, the answer is -4x squared minus x plus 3. For 13, the answer is 2x squared plus 14x plus 18. For question 14, the answer is 5x to the third minus 6x squared minus 30x plus 4. And then for the last one, question 15, the answer is 5x squared minus 6. Alrighty, so how well did you do on these practice problems? Let us know in the comment section below how well you did, and if you have any questions or clarifications on any of these problems, just specify it in the comment section below and we'll be glad to assist you. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this presentation. I really appreciate it. If you found the contents of this tutorial helpful in your studies of polynomial operations, do give us a thumbs up. Your positive feedback is very valuable to us. If you have any questions or comments as indicated earlier about what we covered, or if you have any special requests for algebra tutorials, just place it in the comment section below and we'll be more than glad to respond. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for updates to other math tutorials such as this. A lot of support resources can be found in the link in the description below, or just visit our website at mathgotserved.com. Thanks again for watching and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.